Welcome Aquarius to your in-depth weekly forecast for week commencing the 11th of March for the Sun, the Ascendant, or if you choose the Moon. On the screen now is the event chart at the start of the week, and you can see that you have 3 planets in your sign: Pluto, Mars and Venus. But Venus is going to be moving later on Monday into the sign of Pisces, and that is positively good news for you in particular. Why? Well, Venus loves being in Pisces. 1, it's exalted. 2, the creative stuff that you've been doing ever since the Sun on the 20th of January, followed by Pluto on the 21st, then Mercury, then of course you've had Venus and Mars, all in your sign. You've been doing a lot of creative stuff, but you may not have been seeing the results. Last week's new moon may have started to give you a bit more insight into where things were heading. And of course that linked brilliantly with your modern ruler Uranus, suggesting that when it comes to self-worth, second house, the new moon, and also money, and also your values, Uranus is saying maybe you need to adapt things a little bit, and there needs to be some fresh approaches. Have you become a little bit too set in your way, and there needs to be some flexing and some innovation, something you often have an interest in. But there is a duality with Aquarius. One part of you likes to stick, the other likes to twist. You can be very progressive, but you also can be quite welded to particular ways of doing things, because that's the rulership of Saturn. The more progressive stuff comes from Uranus. So that new moon is a priming point for what you can achieve over the next month, but it requires a fresh pair of eyes to extract the most, either in terms of money or your sense of self-worth. But Venus moving out of your sign on Monday, the 11th, into Pisces, where it loves to be, is superb, because this usually is a trigger for an uptick in financial fortune. So whenever Venus moves into the second solar house, it's usually very good. But for you, it's moving into a sign that it's exalted in. So that in itself is really, really encouraging. But particularly if you've done the hard yards. The problem is last week, Mercury, the planet of communication, which hates being in Pisces, was applying to Neptune, and that may have made you feel worthless, exhausted, if you're not really seeing things shaping up in an obvious, tangible way. And also a storming right angle between Mars and in your sign and Uranus in your 4th may have meant if you felt frustrated or pinned in and things aren't moving at the pace you want, the sense of exasperation may have been enormous. But then, because of Mercury applying to Neptune, you may not have quite had the wherewithal to find the traction to move forwards. So that has been uncomfortable. So as we come into this week, Mercury has darted forwards into the effervescent, energized, vibrant Aries. It may also see you do well because it's linking to Pluto in your sign. So if you are someone who has got big ideas and a real passion about what you want to do, you can really start to articulate it from the start of this new week in a way which seemed a bit beyond you last week. But Mars and Uranus are still in a right angle. If there is anyone playing games around you, you're not in the mood for it, to be honest. Later on in this week, the Sun applies to Neptune, and we have a cazimi on Sunday, a Neptune cazimi, squared up by the quarter moon in your sister air sign of Gemini. What does that mean? Well, a second 5 right angle suggests that we could be too generous to the wrong person, too frivolous with our resources, because Neptune's in the mix. Maybe go for some all-out escapism, so drinking session or gambling or spending too much on shopping on things we don't really need. Now, we all enjoy some of these things, so it's all about the proportion, whether it's eating calorific goodies or going for the drink or doing a bit of they're all absolutely fine. It's just that if we do them from a position of fed-upness and escapism, that's when actually it's not so good. Also, someone close could buzz us for some kind of financial support. And if it has become a little bit of a pattern, it's a good time to remind them that you're not responsible for their finances. So affection and money, or money and enjoyment to an nth degree, can get a bit blurred towards the end of this week. But I think after the week that's come to a close, which really was draining with Mercury and Neptune, Mars in that right angle with Uranus, not easy at all. And I think Mercury moving into Aries, Venus into Pisces, lovely, lovely stuff. The Sun conjunct Neptune could also bring out that part of you that is a natural humanitarian. So, you know, whether it's giving money to a good cause locally, contributing some items to your local food bank, leaving your change in the shop to help, say, a local cause, doing something, you know, planning something like a sponsored run or a sponsored hike or an abseil down the side of your hospital. All those things are possible with the Sun combining with Neptune, to be honest, because you can use your good values in a compassionate and thoughtful way, but vitality may still be a little low, and I think you could be more sensitive to sugars in the second half of this week. But overall, a much brighter week for you. If you would like to ascend above this zodiac broadcast and understand more serious astrology, check out my special chart offer. You can get your forecast and your character analysis for 30% off. Searing insights, totally unique to you. Please see the link beneath this video for more.